I know these mini reviews are short, but this one might be extra short because even I don't know how to make jokes about this movie. It's depressing. Dunkirk is the true story of the British army that was trapped in Dunkirk, France in World War II. Basically, the German army is circling around them, and they've been forced onto the beaches, where they have to wait for help to arrive, but help isn't arriving anytime soon. That means that they're stuck on the beach, in the wide open, with no place to hide, for a week as the German airships and boats keep cruising by and firing on them whenever they want. Yeah, these soldiers are basically just trapped in hell, staring out over the ocean as they know home is just barely out of reach. But the movie also focuses on a father and his two sons on their leisure boat as they sail out to try and pick up any soldiers they can find, as well as a pilot fighting as many German planes as he can before he runs out of gas. And that's it. Yeah, that's the most shocking thing about this movie. From a director who is known for making 3-hour-long films that feel like they could have kept going, this film is short. But not because someone came in and edited it down to make it more accessible to audiences. No, it's short because that's the exact length this movie needs to be. It tells the exact story it wants to, and then it's out. But also, when I say that's it, I don't just mean it's short, I mean that aside from 1 or 2 moments here and there, there's really no surprises, no twists and turns, no deep, complex character developments. This movie is just about these soldiers trying to survive. And because of that, this is a movie where the story, the characters, the dialogue, all of it takes a backseat to the visuals. And that's not to say that there aren't characters, but you never get any backstory or history on them. And it's not that there isn't good dialogue, but did you see the trailer? 80% of the dialogue you get in the first half of this film is in that trailer. This is a film where Christopher Nolan gets to show off what he can do just with visuals, and he absolutely succeeds. But there's something that he does with this story that makes it more than just an hour and a half of watching people try to survive. Like I said, you follow the soldiers on the beach, the family on the rescue boat, and the pilot in the air. However, the soldiers are there for a week. The family is there for a day, and the pilot is there for an hour, meaning each of their stories are told over different periods of time, but then they stretch each of these stories out over the course of this entire film, then they cut back and forth between these three until they finally all meet up. So when you see an hour pass for the soldiers on the beach, only 5 minutes will pass for the pilot. It sounds crazy, but it's actually genius. I have no idea what it is with Christopher Nolan and telling stories where time moves differently, but it's kind of his bread and butter. Now, I will admit that there is one moment where this 3 timeline thing is a bit frustrating because in one of the stories you're wondering if these people will be saved, while in another one of the stories you see that they've already been saved, but the other 95% of the time, it's genius. However, speaking of the problems I have with this film, as I said, there's really no characters in here. It's a story told through the visuals, and because of that, I got tense when people were in danger, but it was because of how well it was shot. It was because of how much tension and dread was in this film. But I never got that extra level of, no, not that character, because, yeah, I didn't personally care about any of the individual characters. I cared more about this entire group overall, so I just never got to that extra level of tension. But that's the only reason that this film isn't a perfect score to me. But when I think about how well this movie is able to tell this story in such a creative way while keeping the tension so high, but at the end of the day still remaining true to being a story about hope and about heroes, I still have to give it a 9 out of 10. Thanks for tuning in for another Thorgi mini review. Come back next week for another review, and if you want to see our spoiler talk about this movie, then click right up there. Also, you can follow us on Twitter and Tumblr at Professor Thorgi, and make sure to share these videos around the web. It's the best way to help our channel grow, and I thank you so much for doing it. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Come back next time.